Am I the asshole for refusing to let my brother's family move in after he evicted me years ago? That's why you need to be good to people, because you never know when you may need them back. We shall see. Several years ago, I, 28 female, was living with my older brother Tom, 37 male, and his wife Karen, 34 female. I had just graduated from college and had a pretty bad job at the time and was struggling to make ends meet. Tom had a house with a guest room, and he told me I could stay with them for a while until I got on my feet. I was beyond grateful and made sure to help out however I could, cooking, cleaning, buying groceries when I could afford it. Fast forward about 6 months, I finally landed a decent job and was able to contribute more financially. I was on my way to becoming independent. Around this time, Karen got pregnant. At first, everything seemed fine, but then Karen started dropping subtle hints that they needed more space for the baby. The hints soon turned into direct conversations about how they needed the guest room for a nursery. Tom assured me that I could stay until I found a new place, but Karen was clearly becoming more agitated by the day. Then one afternoon, I came home from work to find all my stuff packed up and sitting in the hallway. Tom told me that Karen had decided they needed me out ASAP. No discussion, no warning. He tried to soften the blow by saying they'd help me with security deposit on a new place. But it was so humiliating and hurtful. I ended up couch surfing for a couple of months until I could afford a small studio apartment. It was really tough time for me, both emotionally and financially. I'll never forget the feeling of being thrown out of my own brother's home like that. Fast forward to now, Tom's life has taken a turn. His business went under and they're having financial issues. Last week, he called me out of the blue, sounding desperate. They're being evicted from their house and not have nowhere to go. He asked if Karen and their 2 children could stay with me for a few months while they got back on their feet. Here's the thing. I'm doing much better now. I have a good job, a nice apartment, and I've been saving for a house. I can technically accommodate them, but the thought of letting them move in after what they did to me years ago just doesn't sit right. I told Tom I needed to think about it, and ever since, he's been sending me guilt-trippy texts about how family is supposed to be there for each other and how they have nowhere else to go. Even my parents have gotten involved, saying I should let them stay with me because their family and what happened years ago is in the past. Where the parents at? Why the parents don't take them in? Everybody always got an opinion. We're family. Family should help our family. When I tell you, if it does not involve a family that I consider I care about, I give 2 shits. 2, 3, 4, and 5 shits. Family or not. Because family be the first one to do you dirty. But here's the kicker. Karen hasn't apologized once for how they treated me. Not a word. She didn't even acknowledge it when we both spoke on the phone. It's like they expect me to just forget about it and welcome them with open arms. I'm torn. Part of me feels like I should help because they are family, but the other part of me feels like this is a karmic justice. Am I the asshole for refusing to let them stay with me after what they did? Or should I let the past go and help them out in their time of need? You see me, I'm a petty type of person. First of all, like I said, why they can't go stay at the parents' house? That's my first thing. The parents are chiming in, oh, you should forget about the past. Let them come stay with you. That's my thing. Secondly, if I would only be inclined if she came to me and apologized. The fact that Karen didn't even apologize. Yes, she could be in her hormonal pregnancy stuff at the time, but it's still disrespecting and humiliating. Having a conversation and saying, hey, I'm having a baby. We need the extra space. So I'm going to give you 2 months or so to get your stuff together to get out. That type of conversation needs to happen first. Not being told, you can stay as long as you need until you get on your feet. And then you come home one day and all your stuff is put out in the hallway and you have to go couch surf. Like, that's embarrassing. Thank God. I mean, I've never had to experience it, and I pray I would never have to experience something like that. But at the end of the day, the feeling that she must have felt at the time being kicked out must have been a very hard and low feeling for her. And the fact that this wife didn't even apologize and say or acknowledge that, okay, you know what, I was in the wrong. I was pregnant at the time. My hormones was probably going crazy. Yes, I know I needed the space. I was anxious, whatever the case may be. She said nothing. And it's like, oh, you should just, we're family. You should just welcome with open hands. Like, we took you in for 6 months. Understandable, but you still threw her out for no apparent reason, just to know that you needed the extra space. Cool. At the same time, I'm also petty. I'm the one that would say, like, people would say, like, you can't leave the mother without the kids. I would say, Tom, I can take you and the kids to stay at my house. She got to find someplace else to go because she's not welcome in my house. That's me. Especially if my brother is not the one who really did me wrong. He was just basically going with his wife, as you're technically supposed to do in a marriage. But at the same time, you're the brother and you let the sister down really bad. Like, you should have had a talk with your wife and said, yes, I know you're anxious, but we should at least give her a couple weeks to get herself together, find an apartment, than just kicking her out and she has nowhere to go. She's couch surfing. That's hard. So no. First of all, the fact that if she apologized, I would say I would consider it. I would consider after an apology. But the way how she sounds, she may not be the one to incline to apologize. So I would tell him, I can take you and the kids in so you don't have no place to stay. But she got to go find some place to go. So she could feel how you felt years ago.